Hello, hello, hello. Uh, I'm not gonna lie, I had no plans for the day because of this, I spent the last, let's see, what time is it? Hour and a half in decision paralysis trying to figure out what to play today. And I failed. So basically now we're just gonna react to stuff on YouTube. Because, yeah, there's some videos I've been meaning to watch, never got around to it. But, yeah. Today, first off, we're gonna be starting with, hang on. An Eldritch Horrors Fell in Love by Scrawls. Which, okay, here's something you need to know about me. The concept of like cosmic horror is something I'm fascinated in, but not really as a horror concept because to me it's not horrifying. Just because the most oftentimes the ones that like hit me the hardest with that kind of story are things like, let's say, Bloodborne, where like in Bloodborne, yes, there are massive, horrifying, like terrifying entities from like beyond who are like basically more or less so beyond comprehension. Yeah, this thing right here, can be literally across the street from you, and your brain just refuses to process it because you just can't. But at the same time, all the great ones are not all of them, but a lot of them are they're more sympathetic to humanity. They they might not understand us, but in the end, they care. Ugh. They care about us. Of course, this isn't the best infinite because it's they play the main character turned monster turn, like, but still, like a lot of the horror that happens isn't because they're trying to be harmful or anything. It's because they just can't understand us, and that like what's the word? Misunderstanding of ideas and all that. That we are just as incomprehensible to them as that we are to us, and that is fascinating. Like, yeah, they're humans who kill ants, right? But a lot of people is expecting a lot high amount that won't, because yeah, like they get make as long as they're not in our house and stuff, because that's just fair. Like they wouldn't want us in their anthill, would they? So we don't want an anthill in our house. I know the whole thing is just eldritch horror and comfort and all that is just a very complex amount of things, but at its most basic, I feel like just because something is strange and unknowable doesn't mean you can't learn to know it. Doesn't mean it has to be bad. Like why do things need to be bad? Why do things need to be horrifying? Humanity doesn't really humanity's changed, and a lot of like the groundwork for cosmic horror is written by in a time by it's different. Like the idea that we are so small and insignificant in the universe, that doesn't matter anymore because we know that. We very much know that nowadays. And you know what? We don't really care. Like, what does it matter? Like it really, really does not matter anymore. We don't care enough because like it doesn't change anything knowing how small or insignificant we are. Like, yeah. But yeah, because of that, like like Eldritch Comfort as a genre, it resonates with me hard, like exceedingly so. Like, yeah, it's unknowable, but it's not bad. I'm probably not doing a great job of explaining this, so we're just gonna move on to the video. The first one, at least. I got like five of them lined up. There might end up being more. Sure.
This is a love story. No matter how many squirming tentacles, grasping hands, or unblinking eyes you see on this journey, no matter how horrifying it becomes, remember, this is a love story. The whole point of an Eldritch abomination is that it is inherently unknowable. An outer god from beyond the stars, a non-Euclidean entity from another dimension. Eldritch horrors aren't scary because they look weird, that's just one
Yeah,
factor. They are
yeah, that's something true. Like they also tend to look weird not because they look weird, but just because they're not really the same. Just weird. Like weird doesn't mean bad. It rarely does.
truly scary because of
Just means
how
different.
displaced they are from human comprehension. Far from any sense of moralities or emotions, and to gaze upon even just a piece of their true form could drive you mad. So why do people want to date them?
Oh, I love that. Launch the Farm is one of my favorite games, and this character in particular. That character, my favorite, one of my favorite just in existence. Just because. Imagine if fandoms, okay, you can't tell from this image, but this is the same character. This one. Imagine if fandoms, the positive, but very weird aspect of all fandoms were personified as an eldritch being who is trans and identifies as a teenage girl. It's weird, but honestly, I think it's just hilarious and it works. If anything was going to be the personification of that side of fandoms, checks out. Yeah, and it's very non-toxic about it too, which is weird, but good, honestly. Yeah, yeah, because something's weird doesn't mean it has to be bad.
Across fiction, there's a startling amount of eldritch horrors that take on the forms of cute, dateable anime girls, and more monstrous but still romantic characters. It's bizarre, but I can't stop wondering, what happens when a human loves an eldritch horror? And could an eldritch horror truly love us back?
Who knows? That's just it. Yeah, it's just a matter of perspective and stuff and all that. I'm gonna. By the way, I'm gonna be pausing a lot because I'm gonna be. I tend to think a lot and I tend to think out loud a lot. Wait, hang on. Oh my god, that image is so cute. You're just grasping all the little flowers with the tendrils. That's cute.
Content warning and spoilers ahead for these pieces of media.
Yeah. I, for one, never really care about spoilers so long as they're not intentional, or intended to actually give away things about things. If someone's just saying, "Oh, I'm enthusiastic about this," I'm fine with that, you know. So, never heard of that. I love it. I love Look Outside, even though I've never properly beaten it. Never seen that or played it or whatever. Same. Never really had much interest in this. Slater Princess is. Oh, I love Slater Princess so much. It is genuinely one of my favorite forms of anything ever. It's just a meta narrative on so many things, and it's perfect. That's not truly perfect. Nothing is, but that's good. But honestly, I couldn't tell you any the flaws, but that's just because I'm obsessed. The difference between obsession and actually loving something properly is that if you're obsessed, you probably won't be able to tell the flaws. But if you love it properly, you'll be able to understand its upsides and its downsides. That goes with people too. If you can't say anything bad about someone, that's not healthy. Everything and everyone has flaws, even if those flaws make them better to you. Yeah, I tend to accept people's flaws because that's a part of who they are, you know, flaws and all. Sure, they might want to improve on those flaws, but yeah, they're still part of them. Same with me. I know I have flaws. I try to accept them. Yeah, that's what you got to do. We're flawed,
One day,
and that
you
makes us
wake up
great.
alone in your apartment with nothing but the urge to look outside. Do you do it? If you do look outside, you open up your window and find yourself gazing at something so horrific, so unaligned with the laws of physical reality that you are stretched into a monstrosity. And if you choose to not look outside, then you begin the journey of Sam, our protagonist in the game Look Outside, a survival horror RPG. In this game, a terrible eldritch being floats above Earth, transforming
You're not
all who
terrible.
gaze upon it
Oh wait,
into
no, wait,
monsters.
hang on. What's the?
You must traverse your apartment.
Sorry, but hang on. I just remembered. What's the term? How is? Uh, oh, excuse me. Hmm. Oh, hang on. Tracking's been weird today. Ah, okay, there we go. That this one works. Terrible as in extreme or great or formidable. Basically, it means something similar to awesome. Okay, those work. That works very well. Okay. I was wondering because, like I said, terrible. That monster doesn't see. It's not gonna spoil more than the video does.
Complex fighting these transfigured
Probably I
humans,
might.
dealing with cultists. In this game, a terrible eldritch being floats
God, it's
above
been
Earth,
how long has this stream
transforming
already been? And
all
it's
who
been like
gaze upon it into
11
monsters.
minutes, and it's only 1
You
minute
must
in.
traverse your apartment complex, fighting these transfigured humans, dealing with cultists, and just trying to survive Doomsday. Maybe it seems silly to ask if an eldritch being like this, causing so much suffering, could fall in love, or even experience emotions in general.
Never assume that something can't, even if they're incomprehensible to us. They make perfect sense to them. And that actually doesn't just go with like eldritch beings or anything. That just goes with like people. The way one person experiences something is not the same way someone else does. Ah, hang on. Here's a perfect example. Okay, see these candles? Rather, see this right here? No, this one you can see easier. No, actually, okay, no. Okay, I'm struck with decision paralysis on everything today. So let's go with. Okay, you see my eyes? You see them? I I'd zoom in, but I don't know how. But yeah, just what color are they? Yellow, right? Pinkish too, but mostly yellow, right? Okay, here's the thing though. What I see and what you see, could be two completely different colors. Like what I'm seeing as yellow, what that looks like to me, that could be what blue looks like to you, and we would never be able to tell because, yeah, we just know that's just how our brains process things. Like, yeah, they process them in the same way, and we call them the same things, but that doesn't mean that they're the same. Like, just because they're like, yes, functionally they're the same, but what we're actually seeing is might not be the same. But they have all the same connotations, which is weird and interesting. And it's the same thing with something like this. Like, yeah, you experience something, like you call it the same thing, but that doesn't mean what you're feeling, what's happening in your head aren't the same thing. Like, even within just for one person as well. Like, there's so many forms of love. Like, there's platonic. There's not only there's platonic and romantic and familial kinds of loves. There's so many different kinds within those. Like, it's kind of the kind of love you feel for a brother is not the kind of same love you feel for a sister or a mother. This kind of love you feel for your best friend is not the kind of love you feel for I don't know, like anything. It's gonna be if you even like okay, if you're the kind of person who has multiple best friends, you do. I'm betting you do not feel the exact same way about all of them. That's just how things are. Like, things differ, things vary, everything's different. That's all. That's fascinating. People's experiences are amazing, and yeah, like so. Just because something is different doesn't mean this doesn't. There's actually a trope about this kind of thing. It's hang on, blue and orange. Blue and orange morality. Yeah, see, this is a good one. This image is good for this. Like, there's lawful, like, yeah, like, good. Like, there's evil, good, lawful, chaotic, bacon, necktie. Like, what? Like, that doesn't line up with anything else, does it? Like, yeah. Like, say everything good and evil, black and white. Someone else is blue and orange. Like, it doesn't make sense to you, but it does to them. Like, yeah. Morality and all that stuff, things are so different and so weird. Like, you're not normal. No one's normal, and that's amazing. But because of this kind of thing, like, could fall in love, experience emotions, and of course it does. An ant feels emotions, but they're not the same as ours. An ant feels love for its hive and its queen. It expresses that through its actions. It takes care of its hive. It takes care of each other. Yes, the chemicals in its brain are what causes that. So that goes for us too, though. What's the difference between that and them? There's a big difference, but it's not in what the actual thing is. It's still love. It's still care. It's just different. So, why couldn't an Eldritch horror feel that? Why couldn't it feel an equivalent? It's all about equivalence, you know? Like, something I say a lot is AI has not AI in jet, not specifically AI like the kind you see nowadays, but I'm talking like if in a sapient AI, like say the Geth or like any other fictional one, like just because something is not flesh, bone, and blood doesn't mean doesn't mean it doesn't have equivalents. One man's blood is a machine's oil. Wires are why we have basically wires in our brain to transfer like electrical signals to tell us what to think. The only difference is that you can't really poke around in someone's brain and mess with it in the same way. And you know what's even funnier? Uh, most people have a good chunk of plastic in their head, in their brain. Yeah, just because that's something that happens. Like, it's not good for you, but it wouldn't be good for a rope for like a computer to have have meat in inside of it. It's all about like finding the similarities, you know? I got really sidetracked on this.
General. At first, Look Outside seems like a classic tale of cosmic horror that answers our question with a big fat no. No, a spiraling cosmic entity outside your window corrupting humanity is not going to love you in any way, shape, or form, no matter how hard you try. How could anything that did this much chaos show a trace of empathy? While monsters like
Well, okay, here's the thing about that. Why is it doing that? Did it mean to do that? Because you're making a lot of assumptions on that. Like, oh, this thing's causing chaos. Like, this thing's causing this destruction. It must be evil. It must hate us. What? Why? The, I mean, okay, like if you say mow your lawn and you kill a bunch of ants because you just mowed your lawn, does that make you evil? Because you just killed hundreds of ants just doing what you do. Does that make you evil? No. Make you incapable of feeling things? No. Like no. It's not. No, it's not. I know, but I know that it's not one to one. But it's all about finding equivalencies, you know. And the whole ant to a human thing is probably one of the best ways to describe like what an eldritch creature is to us. Not
Vampires or
best.
werewolves are humanoid and still connected to human desires in most media. Creatures that fit within the wide genre of eldritch or cosmic horror are markedly inhuman to a degree that it is meant to be shocking. In traditional Lovecraftian cosmic horror, eldritch entities are simply not human enough to comprehend us, or even sometimes notice us. Sounds just like my ex-wife, am I right? I'm so sorry, I don't know what came over me. What people would consider true cosmic horror involves a pessimistic view of the universe. It views our reality as one that is not only
Yeah.
uncaring, but full of forces that could wipe out humanity.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Like, it makes a lot of very pessimistic assumptions. And humanity, as I've noticed, exceedingly pessimistic about everything. Most of all itself, honestly. Like, it's such a weird thing to notice once you actually do notice it, though.
In an instant. So, the equivalent of a complex eldritch entity falling in love with a human would be like a human falling in love with an ant or even a microbe.
You say that. Pretty sure that's probably happened. Maybe it's again, it's not the same kind of love, but you know, like okay, this is why I say that like the AI uprising will never actually happen, not in that way that's depicted ever. Because okay, one of the many reasons I say that is because yeah, humans aren't gonna if we end up like neglecting, we won't end up abusing them. Not in the not for like as a whole, like for the most part, we won't end up abusing like AI. You know why? You feel way too much goddamn empathy with everything. Like, okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, if you're watching this, I'm guessing you probably have some sort of like comfort character. That's basically a thing, example of it. But people like empathize with like literal toasters, and then they'll feel bad for throwing it away, even though it's not. It is literally just like a couple heating coils and inside of a metal shell. It's basically the equivalent of. It's basically barely more than a rock of metal. But they still love the hell out of that toaster, and I feel bad for throwing it out. So, what do you think people will do once that if that toaster was able to actually to empathize with you in some way? Yeah, no, people. There's no way that people would actually be able to actually be horrible to AI to like sapient AI. Of course, there would be people who do it, but I'm betting for the most part, they won't actually understand or comprehend that they're, alive in the same way as we are, which is a failing on their part. But not much you can do about it. At least not without you directly knowing about it and trying to help them understand that that's not the case. But yeah,
The two operate on such different planes of cognition that love would not really compute. The closest thing ants could process as being love is vastly different than what a human could.
yeah,
So,
that's what I said. Like, yeah, it's something similar, but it's not the same. Like, but it's still love.
humans' vision of love must be so far removed from what an eldritch horror could comprehend. Yet I
Not
haven't
really.
told you the whole truth. Look Outside diverges slightly from typical cosmic pessimism. If you manage to survive 15 days, you can ascend to briefly meet with the visitor itself. It appears as a massive eye, radiant colors shining from the void of outer space. And it sees
Oh, this thing right here is the protagonist, by the way, getting torn apart by this, and it kept barely together.
surprised as you communicate with it. It has not really thought before. Before meeting Sam, it never even knew it was separated from the rest of the universe. But as you tell the visitor of its impact, it shows sorrow. It sees that the mere act of looking at Earth has caused untold destruction, and so it chooses to leave. It is trying to
Nah,
give
fudge,
him
what
a
did I
piece
do?
you and meant to be shocking. I don't know what humanity in humans' vision that love would not really compute. But they haven't told to bring surprised as you first. But as you it sees that the mere act of looking at Earth has caused untold destruction, and so it chooses to leave. An eldritch horror capable of kindness. But first, it offers to let you gaze upon its true form. Do you look? If you do look, your mind tries to comprehend a being larger than a solar system. You and the blue marble shrink so quickly in comparison to a being that defies gravity and logic and sanity. In the face of something truly maddening, the visitor leaves you, but your body, your entire being really begins to unravel. You have been changed by this interaction, forever altered into a massive abomination without thoughts or memories or love, only with the will to consume the planet. If you choose not to look, the visitor leaves. You find yourself still transforming from this interaction, growing millions or trillions of new appendages, eyes and mouths and teeth. But somehow, your mind remains perfectly intact. While grotesque, you're still kind of human. You learn to control your form and do your best to help the remains of humanity to rebuild from the apocalypse. You begin to spread across the globe, stretching out to help clear rubble, build shelters, provide aid and care to all those you can, becoming a benevolent eldritch being, the protector of mankind. Strangely, your new eldritch body becomes the glue of world peace. Your love shines bright, and you are surrounded by friends, and you are very happy. These two endings are especially interesting because they balance the scale and sheer terror of classic cosmic fiction with surprising empathy.
Yeah, and yeah. Look Outside is the best, one of my favorite. Again, it's one of my favorite pieces of media, just because it's such a good example of how, yes, the world is ending. There is something responsible for it, but it's not bad. Nothing. It doesn't have to be bad. You end up making friends in this apocalypse. You end up just cooking meals. You adopt a fucking kid. You adopt. You more or less adopt like at least two, maybe three, depending on how good what happens in the game. Like this is it's a very interesting kind of game, and also this the whole like when you watch something, you change its nature. That's actually a thing. That's genuinely something that happens because what is reality but what we process in our mind? When you view something, yes. Okay, here's the thing. If you don't, okay, you know Schrodinger's cat rather. Hang on. Okay, like you know like Schrodinger's cat, right? It, there's a box. Yeah, better color. But like there's a box, and inside this box, there is a cat, right? Now, is the cat alive or is the cat dead? It does that like there's a whole thing that people misunderstand about like, oh, like it doesn't matter. And the reality is the whole thing is about how hilariously enough, the Schrodinger's cat thing was originally made to like showcase how like silly the whole idea was. Like, oh, like no, it doesn't matter what you think. The cat is in the like it doesn't matter if the cat is in the box like what you think or what you know about the cat in the box. It doesn't change when you look at it because the cat's in the box. If it's in the box, it doesn't matter what you think about the cat. It is either alive or it is dead. But here's the thing: your perception is reality. What you understand and what you understand and know about the world changes the world. Not to like a literal extent, but your understanding of it, your experience. You are your experiences, and if you know about the what. Okay, like say like how if you know that there's a cat stuck in this box and it is alive and happy, you're going to treat it differently than say if the cat was dead. Like if the cat's happy, I mean if it's just like, oh, it's a cat in a box, it's happy, it's he. Like, oh yeah, it's a happy cat. But you're gonna treat that differently than if say if you know that there is a dead cat or a dying cat in the box. You're gonna treat it differently. But what happens if you open that box and what you find inside is nothing? There's nothing. You just acted on information. You thought there was a dying cat in that box, but there isn't. Until you knew your reality was, oh god, there's a cat in that box, we need to get it out. And then you open it and you find nothing. Your perception changed your reality. Like for a little bit, your reality was there was the cat in the box. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that there isn't that there's never was or never will be. Your perception didn't put a cat in a box, but how you reacted, how you treated the world for a bit, you specifically your reality was that in this box there was a cat, and you wanted that get that cat out, but there was no cat. Your reality is not doesn't have to match up with everything, which is why something like delusions and stuff can be such an issue because hey, doesn't matter if they're true or not to the person with those like that perception, it is true. Such a weird thing to think about.
The visitor had no intention of hurting us and leaves
Yeah, like oh, so yeah.
quickly once it discovers its impact. The visitor had no intention of hurting us and leaves quickly once it discovers its impact. The player, when in the denial ending, transforms but uses their endless tentacles to help the planet. Earth is wrapped in an eldritch but truly loving embrace. While the grim pessimism of Lovecraft has its uses, in this video...
Yeah, something else to keep in mind, that whole grim pessimism of Lovecraftian stuff, you know, that's just only a thing because, well, you probably understand who Lovecraft is at this point. A paranoid recluse of a man who was basically suffering, more or less. Like, he couldn't go outside because he was just afraid of everything, more or less. And that's what he voted at, but he voted just like, yeah. It's just horror. It, it's his horror, but yeah, it resonated with a lot of people, and yeah. He was, like, I'm not saying he was a good person. Like, no. He was, actually, I don't even know. I don't know the guy. We just know we just know some things about him. Like, yeah, he was a racist, but can't really say that makes him bad because that's just how the world was right then. Doesn't excuse it. It just means it was normal-ish. It was fucked up, yeah, but he was fucked up in a lot of ways too. Like, above all else, the man was suffering. You can't really deny that. He did not have a happy life, and that's influenced his works a lot. Like, but the artist and the art is different. Like, if you create a piece of art, that's something I hate when people do. Is hang on, I'm bringing back up the drawing pad. Like, okay, like say, like you have an artist, yeah. They make the art, and once that art is actually fully complete, uh, the artist can't do anything about it anymore. Here's a good example in a weirdly enough not an art way. Have you ever? I can't remember the guy's name, but have you ever heard that whole alpha and omega thing? Like, oh, like wolves, like it's alpha and omega, like that the alpha, omega, and beta of the pack. Like this. I don't know what the beta symbol looks like. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like that's bullshit. The guy, that's one of those things. Like the guy who created it, that who came up with that kind of thing, he was observing like basically wolves in a zoo, and so he published his work about that. He did realize though, pretty soon, like within a couple of years at least, I think, that oh shit, this is wrong. This is not true. None of that is true. But but by that time, his work had already gotten published. The art basically was out there, and even though the guy tried to say, "Oh no, this is not true. This is not true. This is not true," he couldn't get that kind of. He couldn't really get it taken back. He couldn't take it back. You know, it's the same way with art. Like once the artist has created the art, it's going to change things. It's going to influence people. It has become separate from the artist. But that's positive and negative in a lot of ways too, because like okay, did you know? Okay, a lot of people notice, and this is gonna be because I always hate having to bring this guy up because it feels like I don't know why, but whenever you bring this guy up, he feels like you lost something, like an argument or something. Like it feels like but like Hitler, mustache man, yeah, with the shittiest of all mustaches. I've only seen one person pull that off, and that was J. Jonah Jameson, and he's pulled it off to spite the guy. Yeah, mustache man. Uh, he was a painter. He failed art school. He basically, but thing is though, did he get kicked out of art school because he was Hitler? No, that's stupid. No, his art wasn't bad because he was Hitler. His art was bad because it was bad art. Like yeah, no, like you judged a work as a work. Doesn't matter if like who created it. Like yeah, no, his paintings were shit because they were shit. Like if I painted something, it doesn't matter who painted it. Like these scribbles, they mean like this looks like the insane ravings of a madman you might find on a conspiracy board. Like, but it doesn't really matter. Like I made this, but who cares? Anyone could have made this. You judge a work of art by the work of art. Like no, like going back to Lovecraft. Lovecraft, most of the thing called the Cthulhu mythos, he did not have a hand in. Most of the mythos in general, he did not have a hand in. He just wrote some books. When he died, that sort of thing went to like science fiction authors everywhere. Because I don't know. I guess maybe he just didn't copyright or patent it or anything or whatever. Because of that, his ideas went all over things. People who give it, some people I know for a fact did get permission of some sort to do so, but is that the original idea of like Cthulhu and stuff that got spread out and became all sorts of different things and all that like the King in Yellow, that guy, usually depicted as like just guy in robes. Like he's not part of the he's not no he has nothing to do with the Lovecraft stuff. People came after and just said, "Oh yeah, no, that guy, the guy in the weird cloak, yeah, no, he was Cthulhu Mythos." He fucking wasn't. It was just a book, different thing. Yeah, it was partly inspired by Lovecraft, but no, not the part of it. King in Yellow is something completely separate. Like yeah, like the like depiction of Cthulhu as some big old squid monster. That's not that's not Lovecraft. Pretty sure. I don't think that was like people afterwards turned him into a big old squid with bat wings. Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, it's just a bunch of different things. Like after those things were made, they changed because not because like for tons of reasons, I suppose. But after the artist has created the art, it leaves them. After a point, they no longer have any control over anything in it because it's become part of like public consciousness, more or less. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. But a lot of people, they don't they tend to forget how to like connect the art to the artist or stuff, you know? Or rather, they do it too much and sometimes. Like, yeah, like so, yeah. Like Hitler's art wasn't hit shit because it was Hitler's art. It was shit because it was shit on its own merit. But like, yeah, don't conflate things, you know, and don't tie things unnecessarily to an artist. Because after a point, there's no reason to. Like once the work is created, who made it has no impact on what they made. Like if Hitler did paint good artwork, first off, he wouldn't be as hated because he would never become the guy he was. But still, that even if he still did all that stuff, but he did make good artwork, people wouldn't people wouldn't just say, "Oh no," like you shouldn't just judge it because of the guy who made it. You should judge it on on its actual merit. Shitty people can make good things. Good people can make shitty things. That's just how things are. And like this, like stuff on the Official Cthulhu stuff by Lovecraft, inspired a whole bunch of different stuff. Did it make it good? Did it make it bad? I don't know. I'm not an art critic. I mean, everyone's a critic, but I don't care. I try to be positive about stuff, you know? But yeah, so in the end, like, it doesn't really matter. Art, the art might be shit, but doesn't mean the creator is. Doesn't mean the creator's good if the good art is good. It just is. Like, yeah. Like, does this say anything about me that I drew this? Not really. Does it being drawn by me say anything about this? No. Yeah, it's just yeah, just is what it is. It's weird, bit odd, but doesn't make it bad. Not in that way, at least. I've gotten very sidetracked a lot today. That's probably gonna keep happening.
Embrace. While the grim
Well, why
pessimism
did I get on this tangent? Oh yeah,
of
uh,
Lovecraft has
Lovecraft's life was shit.
its uses, in this video, all the stories I'll be discussing diverge from tradition in different ways, either by giving the Eldritch abominations more emotionality, or the humans a way to pierce the cosmic boundaries with love.
That is something I do love. Just the idea of if an eldritch horror can infect us with like madness or whatever, why can't we do the same back? Like it would make sense. Like it's it's not just infecting is the thing. Like, you're not just it's the infecting like no, you're learning, and then you don't, but you're not quite understanding what you learn. That's kind of what cosmic madness is. Like you learn something, for a minute you think you understand, but you think about it a bit more, then it doesn't add up, and then everything else stops adding up. It's like, oh, there's good SCP about this
Trust
kind of
them.
thing. What is it called? What is it called? SCP missing 33, I think. Let's see. What? Nope, that's not it. Hang on. It is 33. What the heck is this then? SCP 33. No, not that kind. No, that's silly. Hang on. Yeah, that's a tail, it says. Where is it? This be Series 1, 33. Here we go. Yeah, the idea is basically it's just a number that we somehow managed to miss. Why was I talking about this? I have no clue. Oh no, how like madness works. That's it. That's why I'm looking at this. Eldritch madness. It's not. It's this is very good example of what it more or less is. It's you learning something that recontextualizes everything in a way that just breaks it and makes your perception just fucked. Yes, there's that whole ant thing where they say, "Oh, if an ant learned how a computer worked, it then forgot, and it freaked out trying to get learn them information." Yeah, that's a good example. But there's more than just one kind, you know. This is the kind I understand. I think about the most, or I think like I understand it the best. Is hang on. Imagine like in this example, SCP-33, there's a number that's missing, right? No, here's good. Use it. Every school child knows that 2 plus 2, 4. Solid mathematical certainty of numerical order and value is the basis for all logic-based systems. We know that after 2 comes 3, and after 3, 4. What this formula proves is that we missed a number somewhere. Imagine if all our technology was based off of the belief that after 4 came 6. Simply didn't know or conceive of 5. That is, in essence, what this formula proves. Missed a number. So basically, like, it's just an idea that, like, yes, it's something that we don't understand, but once it's understood, everything's recontextualized and everything breaks because of it. Like this said, you somehow missed a number that was it's like if you missed a number. Okay, this doesn't like properly get right. It's like if you missed that number. Don't ask why it's going sideways like that. So, like, you have those numbers, yeah, but it's not like if you missed the number, you just programmed everything like on. If you like, say if you programmed everything based on like a base, like we work under a base 10 system. If we worked under a base like if we worked under a base 9 system, things would be different. Yeah. Heck, we know what a base 2 system. I think it's base 2. Might be base 1. 0, 1. That's what computers tend to run off of that. You know, like 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, zeros, and all that. That's a base. I think it's a base 1 or base 2 system. It's basically like that, where there's only two integers, 0 and 1. Yeah. But adding in more numbers to that doesn't really. That kind of breaks it, but that's just because it's not built for that, because it's a system not made for it. What that SCP and what like the Eldritch Magic I know about is talking about is yes, you have these numbers like 1, 2, 3, 5. And yes, you made that system. you base your systems around that, but 4 still existed in that system. You just forgot. You just didn't know it was there, and nothing. That means everything you program after that is programmed without including a part of the system that's right here. And then one day you just remember that it was there. It just got added back in the system. Someone added something, and then everything, all the communication just breaks the fuck down. Because this should be there, but it isn't. It's very convoluted. I'm not explaining it the best. Hang on. But not explaining it the best way, but it is a good example of this kind of mimetic like thing. Like, you learn about this number, you learn about that number, and suddenly nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing makes sense from there on. 2 plus 2 does not equal 2, it equals something else. Which means everything else you know about all that is wrong. That means that if they take these numbers. Okay, say this is now 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Suddenly, it turns out that 2 plus 2 is not 3. I mean, not 4. 2 plus 2 is no longer 2 plus 2 is no longer 4. No, now it's 3. And suddenly everything is different now because of you now know this. But other things, here's the thing though, and why I think a lot of Eldritch Magic stuff doesn't quite work to me. It's a perception thing. Doesn't matter. Like, yeah, sure, we missed a number. So what? Why don't we just continue to not use it? It doesn't make it stops being horrifying at that point, don't it? It can literally just not. Like, if, like, say this, like, they're storing it, you know? They're just trying to store it. But thing is, you don't have to do that. They could literally just find all, like, references of this equation. Get rid of it. Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Just get rid of it. Just burn the paper. Because you know what? Scientists have actually done that. Bored mathematicians have actually tried to prove this, that 1 plus 1 does not equal 2, and they succeeded. And you know what? No one gives a fuck. Yeah, it turns out the solution to a lot of Eldritch knowledge is just not giving a fuck. Like, you have to care about this kind of thing for it to actually affect you in any way, which is untrue for a lot of things. If you don't care about something, it's not really affecting you. That's not always healthy to not care about everything, but you know, like, yeah, like, oh, this idea is scary, but it's just an idea. In the words of Session 9, it was just a thought I was having. And yeah, that's why I think, like, if you go mad in Eldritch stuff, but at least in that kind of way, like, you're thinking too much about it, dude, you know? Like, you're thinking about it too much to your own detriment. Just, yeah, you have an option to just not. Yes, I know it can be hard. Like, don't, like, it's like saying don't think about pink elephants. Now you think about pink elephants because I said it. But after a while, after like a couple minutes or maybe or an hour at most, you're not even gonna remember that I said that. And guess what? You're not thinking about pink elephants anymore. You don't care. It had no lasting impact. And why should this have a lasting impact on you? It'll only have a lasting impact if you let it. So don't. I know it's not that simple, but some things are. Like, yeah, like eldritch knowledge, like, oh yes. I don't care. Yeah, I don't yes, I might yes, you can teach me how to make non-Euclidean structures. I don't really care about that. I'm not an architect. So why? Like, there's no point. So there's no real reason for me to get all on a fuss about it, you know? Like, oh, this room loops around in on itself, and it's bigger than the building this should be. Like, okay, and that's just a fact. Are you trying to argue with facts now? That's just gonna give you a headache. Drive you mad, maybe. Accept it. Yeah. Like, no, just don't become so seated in reality that you can't accept changes. That's where most of that's where almost all like Lovecraftian madness comes from. Just the inability to accept that you were wrong. Which again says a lot about the creator.
Knocking at the door? Do you trust a stranger who takes on the face of a lover? One of the problems
Eh,
with going from eldritch horror
I
to
just
eldritch romance is the danger of it. Of course, some of you freaks out there are here for the danger, but
yeah.
romance requires intimacy. And intimacy, it requires trust. However, unlike the
That
visitor,
that is a
some
thing. That is something I care about a lot. Just the idea of just the learning. Honestly, yeah.
eldritch being
Would I date an Eldritch horror? Yeah. Well, only if it was consensual, but yeah. Doesn't matter if you're an Eldritch god. Consent is important, goddammit. And so is communications. If you can't communicate with me or learn how to communicate with me, and I can't learn to communicate with you, then I'm sorry, but we should see other people. That's just how it is.
are not only incapable of true emotions, but they also use fake emotions as mimicry to prey upon humans.
Yeah.
In the Cthulhu mythos, the god Nyarlathotep is known to take on
Yeah, let
human
that
forms as part of larger schemes to manipulate mankind. And somewhat similarly, in the game How to Date an Entity and Survive,
I'm sorry, but that face is fucking cute. It's that face. It's simple. It's stupid. I love it.
you play as a character dealing with a nightmarish entity in the shape of an attractive woman who treats the player character like a toy. In order to survive, you must
Well,
either
that just
simply
makes them not
ignore her
attractive then.
and not let her into the apartment, or carefully
Like,
undergo.
lady or not lady, I don't know what you are. I don't care if you shove your chest in first and like that. Like, no, I don't care if you're a dick. I don't care. Doesn't matter if you have a dick or not. I just don't. It just matters if you act like one. No, fuck off. You're not sexy if you're an asshole.
Apartment, or carefully undergo a variety of date activities, watching a movie, giving a gift, and
Oh,
preparing food. However, with a
what?
single
Oh, that's no. Yeah, that is cute. Is that an alien shark, or is it a whale shark? Wait, I want a stuffy of that.
wrong answer,
Also, his face. It reminds me of Animal Crossing in a way, like more realistic Animal Crossing.
she reveals rows of teeth and painfully breaks up with you. She tells you she isn't really a woman, but an entity, something that has existed since the dawn of life, that is shaped by the desires of mankind. Fear and
Oh,
hunger
okay, that explains the fisty bits.
and lust. This current manifestation
That's not all that kind is about, though, man. Fear, hunger, and lust. No, that's not all. That's nowhere near. Even just with primal stuff. Humans crave connection. That's just the thing. That's literally something that people don't understand that we feel all the time. We need that connection. Doesn't matter if it's no matter doesn't matter the kind, so long as it's positive. In some cases, people will even seek out bad kind of connections because they just need that connection that much that it's just anything will do. People are animals too. Don't forget that. We have instincts and we are pack animals. We need people. Hell is other people, but so is heaven.
of hers is nothing but a small strand of her true form. Even in the supposed good ending where you say you're into eldritch ladies and do nothing wrong, you are never seen again as she whisks you away. But is this really love? Or just Stockholm
Obsession.
Syndrome in the effort to please something dangerous.
I'd say on hmm, from my perspective, that thing would be it is a form of love, but not a healthy one. That's the something you got to keep in mind. Healthy relationships. Like, yeah, that's something that's extremely important. Like, it's on both parties to make a relationship healthy.
In contrast, the episode Beyond the Aquila Rift from the anthology show Love, Death, and Robots plays with this idea of mimicry slightly more positively. In it, a human named Tom gets stranded on a distant space station 150,000 light years away from Earth after his ship went through some sort of routing error. Several centuries have passed on Earth while he was in cryosleep. But thankfully for Tom, his old flame Greta just happens to be working in this remote station far from humanity, and the two rekindle their romance. But things are too good to be true, and Tom demands the truth from Greta. This isn't a human station, is it? And she isn't Greta, is she? After hesitation, Greta reveals the truth. The whole truth.
The single tear. Just the single tear down the cheek.
And Tom awakens in a shriveled alien hive in the farthest reaches of space, breaking out of this twisted simulation Greta had trapped him within.
Oh.
Tom's mind begins to rend itself mad as he looks around and gazes upon the many-eyed, many-legged horror posing as Greta, who begins to stalk towards him and places him back in that lovely illusion. However, like the visitor from Look Outside, this alien entity actually seems
Why does that
to
make me
show
want to
remorse.
cry?
By posing as Greta and shielding Tom from reality, it is trying to give him a peaceful dream to enjoy. He is doomed to die out here, and the Greta alien chooses to be surprisingly empathetic. It reads Tom's memories and takes a form that he can live in a romantic ignorance with. How to date an entity.
It's is that would I'm trying to think of as if to that would be a actually healthy kind of thing. On one hand, it's I honestly I think that's actually as weird as it may be. It's healthy short term at least. Long term, he needs to. I think if the creature brought up what was going on first, that's what needs to happen. The Eldrich, the creature, has to bring up that things are not as they seem first, and try to make sure that no, not in a creepy way. It's just yeah. Stick this. Can't help that. That's reality. Stuck there. He can't leave. And the creature feels bad for him. Cares about him enough to put him into that illusion. Try to make sure that he's happy. And it understands emotions and all that stuff enough that it's able to do that convincingly. I'd say it probably does feel some kind of love for him, even romantic or not, probably feels some kind of love for him. Enough to let him be happy. Try its hardest to make it happy. And also just to went pressed far enough to show him what's actually happening. I do wish that I could see happy ending sort of thing is if over time like it ended up showing him or not showing, at least trying to basically letting him know what was actually happening. Oh yeah, true. Not actually no, yeah, yes, any sentient thing as well. I was gonna say that the difference between sapience and sentience, but no, anything that can be aware of itself, which is what sentience is, can feel some form of love. It's not gonna be the same as ours, but yeah.
How to Date an Entity and Beyond the Aquila Rift both show what
So
happens
howdy,
when
Purple.
Eldritch
Hope you're doing
entities
well.
attempt to take on human form.
Gary? Of Gary's mod? Or
And why they might simulate human emotions. But in both stories, the Eldritch love is still an illusion. The relationship between horror and human is less like one between partners and more like one between warden and prisoner. And that simply won't do. We need a
yeah.
story that's so cute, so full of genuine romance that even the outer gods would blush. Why should Eldritch horrors always get the fun of corrupting humans with fear?
I
Why
literally
can't
said
humans
that.
instead infect them with love, making them more like us?
Oh,
What
that face is cute.
Cartoon Eldritch
Never heard
Darling
of
takes
this.
a simple approach to our question, can Eldritch horrors fall in love? The answer is yes. And it's adorable, mostly safe, and very, very human. Not to say that Eldritch Darling is too simple. It's simply an
Tuco. Not certain? Hmm.
expression of Eldritch ideas within the lens of a slice of life rom-com, rather than a horror story. In it, we follow Ina, an Eldritch entity who has fallen in love with a human woman named CJ. Ina, despite her tentacles and many eyes, is more human than any of the other entities we've discussed. She worries about whether CJ would even like her back if she knew the truth.
I have been shamed. My entire lineage is ashamed of me. I'm you! Okay, I'm over it.
She deals with anxieties about her body and identity and gender and gets trapped in these cycles of doom scrolling and has to work up real courage to be honest with CJ.
No, I feel this. Just doom scrolling and then suddenly realizing what you're doing in this. Oh god, I wasted an hour.
Ina is a massive, sprawling entity from beyond the stars, and if she really wanted to, she could rend an entire city to rubble. But instead,
Here's the thing. Why do you want to do that? That's boring. Humanity's fun. We're interesting.
she chooses to limit herself to the form of a young adult woman, because that's the form she loves,
Yeah.
and the one that CJ loves. But when
Aw.
CJ finally finds out what Ina truly is, she doesn't recoil in fear. Instead, she accepts it. It doesn't matter what greater form lies beyond the veil, the person she knows and loves is Ina through and through.
Yes, that's
Ina slowly
like that's what I say a lot. Like it's the mind that matters. It's who you are, not what you are. Like doesn't matter. And there's so many kinds of love too. Like oh, that's fun thing to do with them. Mm, yeah, that's I tend to do that as well. I suppose. Mostly, I make a really apparently I make a very convincing chaos like incarnate like embodiment of chaos type Eldritch god. Apparently, like yeah, part of me is flattered by that. The other part is like just face palming over the pet fact.
shows more of her true self carefully, and CJ doesn't go mad from anything, except being reasonably mad with love.
Aw.
What I like about this depiction of Eldritch love is not only how cozy it is, but how brutally optimistic it is. In this world, humans infect the Eldritch.
Okay, I
with
need
love.
to read this.
Ina's love pulls her down to earth, restraining her in some ways, but letting her blossom in others and become more human. Maybe for some, Eldritch Darling swings too far into the wholesome direction for Ina to
Fuck
be
that.
considered a true Eldritch.
Eldritch Comfort is the
I get
best
it.
genre.
You want a horror that does love you, but perhaps what you're looking for
Dare take all my progress? You dare bring upon death upon the undying?
in your cosmic companion is something a bit more dangerous, a bit more unknowable. The type of girlfriend who doesn't ask for much at a date, just the death of everyone in this reality. Let's talk about Sucker for Love. Sucker for Love is the Eldritch dating.
I actually saw a play like that once. It was decent. Can't remember much about it except for yeah, not much.
Sim. It
So
takes
I don't know much. I do not know anything about Sucker for Love. I think Markiplier played it twice. That's it. I just never watched it. Never drew me in. It's like, I don't know.
the out-of-pocket idea of trying to kiss anime waifu versions of cosmic horror gods.
Okay, I think it's the anime waifu thing that just like puts me off of it. It's like, I don't know. I think it'd be more interesting if it was just more obvious. Like, oh yeah, no, these things are horrifying things, and this is just what you can comprehend. Okay, that, and I'm pretty sure the main character is just a massive fucking pervert. That also turns me off from that series. I see that pun. Fair enough. Yeah, I just like usually in this like a visual novel game, the main character will usually either be tend to be bland but good person, and yeah, that's good. That's just how you want to be. Like, yeah, doesn't matter if you're bland. If like yeah, it's a way for the person playing to get into it. You know, feel like they're playing it like they're the character in a way. So when you make someone, when you make it like, oh, like they're basically that perverted. It's just like, dude, like that's a little bit insulting.
And treats it with both.
Like this isn't supposed to be a proper character. This is supposed to be like this is supposed to be the player insert type character. You know, like, it feels insulting to me.
Hilarity
So,
and
yeah,
surprising sincerity. You play as
wait,
D,
sincerity. Okay, that one word has made me think otherwise. I
a
might
man
play
who has
this now.
gazed
Fuck.
upon an eldritch goddess in a dream and has become obsessed with summoning her, just so that he can smash her. Eventually, he does summon Lynetta, a squid-like goddess who destroys
Okay, yeah,
reality
okay,
when
I
she
should give it a
truly wakes
shot.
up. To please her, you must undergo a series of rituals.
Actually, no.
Mutilating
I
yourself
think that the fuck. Ignoring that. Okay, here's what I think. Here's the other thing I do have an issue with. Just squid head, normal ass body. The fuck? It's just weird. Not even a fun or interesting kind of weird. It's just it's just fun. Like the other designs in this game actually are very interesting and much more creative. It's just this one. This one's just. Eh. Oh yeah, I imagine that's something a lot of people have to deal with. The best way to go around it is, have you ever played Slay the Princess? That game does that well. It gives you a lot. It gives you tons of like dialogue options, but you still get like pushed back down into the same tree, at least to a degree. But a lot of those little things do have small changes that they can cause.
you must undergo a series of rituals, mutilating yourself and chanting strange incantations.
Oh, you know, this actually reminds me of something. Fun fact. You know that whole like, oh, you must like you must have like virgin blood for this ritual and all that. And everyone's like, oh, so we must find a virgin and take their blood, right? No, no, that's not what that means. Virgin blood means it's not been used. It's like virgin olive oil. It's not that it came like no, that olive oil did not come from a virgin olive or a virgin olive tree. It's called a virgin olive oil because it's olive oil that has never been used. It basically means that it's fresh. So literally, the blood you could take the blood from anyone and it would work in that kind of blood sacrifice. A lot of things like that tend to get lost over time, you know. Like like the whole empty your head thing. Like empty your thoughts. It's not about not thinking or thinking of nothing or just trying not to think of anything. It's about thinking until you're out of things to think about. That's what meditation is. Like this right here, this is more or less meditation for me. I talk and all that, and I think until I can't do it anymore, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. The rest of the day's fine.
And while you can enact a breakup ritual to stop her from destroying humanity, your character,
No, that's cute.
or darling as she calls you,
Okay, okay again, character design wise, honestly, I think this is fun. This is better than the other one.
still genuinely wants to kiss her in whatever
That
form she takes.
yeah, that is creepy though. Yeah, main character I do not like. If you I want it to be like steal a golden ring for someone and have steal it? Don't steal it. I'll donate to him. Oh, like that. If that's the case, yeah, no, that okay, yeah, I understand. If you wanted to make a game like that, you'd have to have it in a small setting. Like just say the entire game takes place in like one town and like its surroundings. It'd have to be that kind of game. Like what are they called? Stardew Valley, I guess, honestly. Stardew Valley with more quests options. For that kind of thing. Just like a town, its surroundings, and you.
If in the end you don't go mad from the rituals and don't break up with her, she grants your wish and gives you a peck with her suckers, as the world caves in. In the second chapter of the game, Dee finds himself alive once more.
Darling, it's you!
And as he meets with Lynetta, he discovers that his reality is just like a dream to the Eldritch gods.
That reality fell to me. Nothing that
Oh.
exists anymore. Like
You know what, fair enough. That makes sense.
As long as Lynetta or one of the other Eldritch gods
Wait.
like a dream
Wait.
As long as Lynetta
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
or one of the other Eldritch
All of those are the same guy.
gods remembers him and dreams about him, he lives on. Reality is destroyed and remade every time they go to sleep and wake up.
Oh,
He
that is
nothing but a
fascinating.
tiny fictional figment.
Oh, okay, now why is this game okay? Okay, aside from this first chapter, it seems to be good from the it has good ideas and all that. That's a very fun idea. Like the concept of yes, the world has ended, but it's still here because it's just a dream. That is actually how you do like it's a dream, very like a good way in media.
In their minds. Instead of driving
Oh, that's
him
a classic
crazy,
kind of
that
thing.
seems to
Beef in
only
a big
strengthen
city.
his love. So you could continue on your merry way, dating Lynetta or Esther, this cutesy anime woman who turns out to be the Eldritch King in Yellow.
I feel like that's kind of obvious. I think it's obvious who that yes, the one in yellow. Again, I never. It is fascinating that they always just tend to make him bigger more than he is. He's just yeah.
In Lynetta's route, she displays much more affection than in Chapter 1. She sneakily asks for cuddles. She says she
No.
loves you no matter what you look like, even if your face was torn off. And if you remain faithful, in the end, she actually begs you to enact a ritual that delays the apocalypse.
Oh.
She wishes to stay in this dream with you forever, to remain asleep because she loves you so much and cannot bear to lose you. But Darling tells her that all things must come to an end. If you let a dream keep going on forever, it becomes a nightmare, or it becomes reality. Perhaps part of Dee's appeal is that he isn't a god. He isn't immortal. The contrast between Eldritch and human is what makes this relationship special. And if things stay this way, perhaps each dream Lynetta has of him will remain special. And so she wakes up, destroying reality once more, and finding herself in an outer plane beyond ours without her lover. And she begins to weep, hoping to dream of her darling again soon.
Thank you for giving me a dream wonderful enough to remember clearly.
In some ways, you might
What the fuck? I'm actually tearing up. God damn it. Oh, that is. Oh. Oh, that's just boring. Like the idea is just like it doesn't matter what way or the other. If it's a dream, make it a good one. But yeah, but that is This is why I think I might gonna try to do more reaction stuff because it allows me to talk more than most games do. Like this is a I've only done 16 minutes of this 25-minute video, and it's been an hour and 20 minutes.
Argue that the Eldritch gods Lunetta and Esther are no different than Mrs. from How to Date.
Oh, like she felt lost. Like no, Netta felt lost. That is a yeah. That is even if something's love takes a different form, love is love, care is care, and someone will always care about you. And like even if that love was just in a dream, even if the love was just a dream, we're still loved. That means something. Oh yeah, no, I do. I won't go for sad's sake, but I will go for like tragedy sometimes, I guess. Right now, I'm just going on a kick on
An entity.
like Eldritch stuff because that's my favorite. My favorite genre is Eldritch comfort, as can probably be seen from the well, my me.
They're all cruel if you oppose them. They all require harsh.
Also, I would if a story's meant to make you sad, like if they do, it's very easy to make me angry with one of those. Like anything where the dog dies, fuck that. I refuse to watch. It's gotten to the point where I refuse to watch anything if like any movie if it's about dogs. Because no, you're actively trying to do something with it cheap. That's just cheap. Like that. That's just targeting. Quite literally, humans are wired to love dogs. Like you literally, that's literally targeting. Like no, that's cheap.
Rituals. Yet, while the player character of How to Date an Entity is just trying to survive after letting the entity in, D from Sucker for Love never regrets his efforts to try to date goddesses. Thus, the relationship between D and his love interests are much more mutual, much more akin to a genuine human love. And while
Yeah.
it might not be healthy for a man to sacrifice this much blood and sanity in a relationship, whoever said love would be easy. We've seen different forms of Eldritch love, from the platonic benevolence of Eldritch Sam, to the genuine romance of Ina and CJ, to Sucker for Love's whole crazy ordeal. But I still haven't explained.
I feel like as so long as it's done well and it's not just a cheap shot to make someone feel something, then it's fine. Like Cyberpunk had this one quest where I guess spoilers, but basically this one character's he had a pet die, and the guy's like fucking wrecked by this. That's a very good way. That went around that method in a perfect way because no, you first off the player never got attached to the pet, and honestly that's a good thing because yeah, but you get to see how it the impact that it had on someone else. That turtle was his everything. It was the only like thing he had left of like his grandmother. It was like, oh. Yeah. People just have different writing styles for creating stories. Like I said, I'm a very like wholesome comfort kind of guy. Like, and I guess logic stuff. Like, not lot. I most of my st- if I most of my stories probably end up being like slice of life philosophical stuff. Actually, I did start writing a story. I can't remember where is. Do I have it somewhere? Uh, where is it? No. That's a story I wrote. That's just a blank page with the title. Uh, that's just a folder full of rants that I've made that I decided to save to possibly turn into stuff. The fuck is this? Hang on. I gotta share this because I don't remember when I wrote this. But it seems interesting enough that I kind of want to share. Oh no, I'm gonna read it out loud. How do I zoom? Uh, view? Zoom. Okay, here we go. Don't know when I wrote this, but apparently I wrote it. The thing's titled The Stage. There are many who would pervert the old ways. Natural balance between life and death. Cycle of souls. One such being can be found within the realm of sleep. Gone by many names, many more stories surrounding it. The King of Fools. A ghost of a court jester who became king for a day before he was beheaded alongside the entire court. I say that to this day he's searching for the king who gave him his tarnished crown. The Sandman, dream demon, said to put children to sleep with enchanted sand, heal their eyes to feed to his children. Bedman, a gritting being, red hair, who watches you from within your dreams, waiting for a chance to sneak out of your dreams. Many have seen them, middle of the night. They'd look at the Bedman, paralyzed. White wing, no white bird appearing in a dream is considered an omen. They are said to disappear in the dreams of many leaders, visionaries, madmen, and artists. Shadow Man is rarely described by those who are close to death, all with similar descriptions. Tall, hazy figure in the shadows. The only clear detail being their brightly lit eyes, staring unblinking. Strangely, those who went on to recover report the figure leaving once in danger. Thank you. That's the vibe I'm going for. Did I just come up with like I don't know what this was or when it came. It just says the stage. I think this was from the idea I had of it was supposed to be I think what's it called? Basically a god, like not god, but like a spirit of like chaos or something or dreams. I don't know. I have no clue what this is. I just found it weird that it was just here, and I don't remember anything about this. I do recognize some of these inspirations though. Well, Sandman is clearly just a Sandman. The Red Man seems to be a thing on paralysis demons. Snow White Bird is like I'm not quite sure where the bird part came from, but the thing about peering in the minds of leaders, visionaries, madmen, and artists, that's Sheogorath right there. The Shadow Man, not sure where that came from because I'm fairly certain I wrote this before I actually like I know there's a video where I saw something like this, like a figure that just shows up when you're close to death, but it's not actually there to cause harm. I hmm, I have no clue what this is for. Oh well. Yeah, the Mourner. That's the one I'm thinking of. But I've written this years and years ago before that was ever made. So What? I don't know what these things are. So no, I don't know where the King of Fools came from either. A jester who became king for a day, only to be beheaded by the entire court that same day, and still searching for the king who gave him that crown in the first place. Almost sounds like possibly Greek, weirdly. Like, yeah. Maybe this was just me trying to come up with character names or some character ideas or something. I don't know. It sounds like the start of some like a mythos telling. I actually do love coming up with mythologies. Like I have one though here. I think it's the Void, which no. Eh, I'd be that kind of I know for a fact that I'd be the kind of king that would be not not hated by anyone, but probably people would be disappointed that I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. Like they're happy to have me. I'd be better than like most kings, but they'd just be like, God, that guy's an idiot. And not tolerated. Toleration is just like, yeah, if there's someone better, he'd be up there. But no, it'd be like, what's the term? They they know that I'm not that like what's the term? Loved but not. I'd be the himbo of kings, basically. Like, yes, I'm likable. I know kind of what I'm doing, but I'm not great at it. But I'd get away with stuff. Just yeah, yeah, like but not. Depends. Like it. Okay, basically, how I'm trying to describe it, and that confusion is exactly how people would feel. Like it's positive, but no one quite knows how to feel about it. Like it's just like like just a bit too casual as well. Just like being there. Like I would 100% eat most of my meals just in the town, just at random restaurants. Or heck, I probably even cook sometimes, just get to for the people or something, just because I can. Like, oh yeah, like I'll let them eat cake. No bullshit. Here, I'll bake some bread. It might not be great bread, but I'm gonna do it. Here's another weird. Okay, I don't. Here's another one that I wrote at some point. I think I vaguely recall this one though. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever be. I'm very much of a. I'm like a. I don't believe like execution is ever really an option except for like extreme cases, like say the Joker. I'm very much a reformation type of guy. No, fudge. I need to stay on topic. The video is mostly over. I want to finish this video because it's been an hour and a half.
And why we create stories about romancing what should be unromanceable. The first part.
Who says that they should be unromanceable? The romance. Hang on, actually, I'm gonna look up the definition of romance. Because I think it's one of those things where there's more, like, more than one. It might be. Might be thinking of romanticize. Oh, this might be it. Like, have you ever heard if you've ever heard the term a man's romance, that kind of thing? Ah, here we go. An emotional attraction or aura belonging to a heroic era, adventure, or activity. That's what it is. That's what I'm thinking of. Like romance is based. This you can use romance in the same way you can use the term like aura or charisma. So I will be right. Okay, I should be back. Where's my? There it I am. Oh yeah, someone's too stupid. I get upset too. It's like, dude, don't be ignorant. Like I don't care if you're wrong. You can learn to. You can become not wrong. That's easy. Just don't be ignorant willfully. That's just ugh. I have gone on so many tangents this video. Like I've gone like I think I went on like maybe a 20-minute rant about how like art should be separated from the artist. And Hitler's art is not bad because Hitler made it. It's bad because it's bad art. It's just, but I'm glad this is going so well so far. My biggest worry that I wouldn't pause often, and because sometimes I could just start watching a video for ages. I can see it. Okay, depends. Because the advisor is there not to tell you what to do. They'll tell you they are there for you to basically bounce off of as well. So, like, say if you have a royal advisor who's oblivious to the evil, or not evil, like, what's the word? Incompetent. That's fine, so long as they don't actually have power aside from being your advisor. Like, they're not the one in charge, you are. Although, to be fair, I also know that I would be the kind of king who would 100% be completely fine with having an evil advisor. Like, yeah, no. So long as I know they aren't actively plotting against me, fine with it. Like, screw. Someone has to be capable of at least bringing up the bad decisions or the evil ones. You know, like yeah, like surprisingly enough, having someone evil who can tell you what he would do is good. That means you're like, oh, okay, that's on the table. We can get it off the table now, or can at least discuss it first. Because you wouldn't, yeah. No, I'm very much, I'm chaotic good to I'm like chaotic good that I'm so chaotic. Hang on. Order my thoughts. Hang on. Maybe I can bring up the thing again. Okay. Ignore Squidward Cthulhu. They had that whole sliding scale of good of like morality, like sliding scale good, evil, good, evil, chaos, and neutrality. I am so chaotic good, mostly leaning towards good. Like I am just firmly just way up there. Like I I feel bad for I most games where I can't do anything bad, not meaningfully, just yeah. Oh no, I'm the chaotic part for me just comes from the fact that I just don't respect authority. Not unless you got to earn my respect. So why would I respect like if a law is stopping something from like laws should not be stopping people from being good. That's stupid. That's where the whole law like I don't care what the rules say. I'm going to do what I think is right. And also, I have the kind of mentality that's like, yeah, if you do crime and you get and no one catches you, yeah, fine. Like, it doesn't make it good. It just I don't. Not gonna complain. Sure, I don't care if you're a criminal. Just don't be weird about it. Just don't be weird about it and don't get caught. That's the biggest thing. Like I'm 100% the kind of guy who would teach a kid to, okay, it's okay if you do this, don't get caught, and make sure you do if you're doing it, you have a good reason. Aside from that, go ham. Like, oh, that's all I care about in terms of that. Like, I don't care if you break the law. Do you have a good reason? Okay, good. Did you not? Did you not? Did you not? Did you not have a good reason? Then why the fuck did you do it? Nah, they're not in charge, are they? I am. I am king of all I survey. Which right now is just the computer. And my shitty, shitty thing of Cthulhu Squid. I need to get an art tablet so I can actually I need to get like a tablet so I can actually do this. Because I have to try to do all the art with just mouse. And that's not great. I got sidetracked again. I'm gonna finish trolling this rabbit in the hat first. There. Okay. ADHD being appeased. Back to the video.
Of that answer lies down a path in the woods, on our way
I love Slay the Princess is the best game I think ever.
to slay a princess. There
Oh no, yeah, pretty much. I end up recreating the world a lot to find the right place to settle. I don't know. At some point, I think I ended up. I don't know how, but I think I now have a mod that lets me like edit the world, so that's now dropped to like 10 minutes.
are a
most.
dozen different ways to describe what Slay the Princess is. It's a horror game, but not completely.
Actually, no. The thing
It's a
that really
romance
helped
game.
though with it is the Odyssey DLC. I don't have to live in one spot anymore, so that one just much greater. Oh yeah, granite is one of the best looking stones in the game. And if you don't have any geothermal plants, you're screwed.
But not entirely. It's a subversion of the fairy tale trope of saving the princess, but instead, you have to kill her.
This game has made me cry several times.
Yes, but you don't have to. Slay the Princess is a kaleidoscopic game that evolves as you play. It is a story of branching paths where you play an unknown figure with voices in their head. The most prominent is the voice of the narrator, who commands you to slay a princess in order to save the world. It starts simple enough, but whether you kill her or she kills you, the world resets, forcing you to live the same story over and over, but with things slightly changing depending on every move you make, the world becoming more horrific on every run. What begins as a fairy tale subversion becomes a dizzying fractal of body horror and vast cosmic conspiracy braiding every path. But Slay the Princess is not just about paths and branches, it's about cycles. In my first playthrough, I assumed I was a human, and that the princess was one too. This
Sorry, just the absurdity of...
story.
Well, look right here. That's the player character's hand. I'm pretty sure if you... In fact, that's also the cursor in this game. Your cursor in Slay the Princess is your hand. So... I'm not sure how long you can believe that you're human. Of course, there's only one route where you found out what you look like, and it's fucking amazing. Like, turns out you're a dragon. You're like basically a dragon crow horse monster thing. Like, imagine like a humanoid crow monster with like biblically accurate angel wings that are just so many that there's like anywhere between 2 and enough that you can't count. Constantly draped in shadows the entire time. Like, if they look at you at a certain angle, it looks like they have a human face. But if they look up, then suddenly see a bird beak with horse teeth in it. They look to the side and suddenly there's fangs, and it's that's fantastic character design, and you only ever see it in one of the routes, and it's
of the quest of one person to slay another. But very quickly my world was shaken. The princess managed to survive a terrible wound and started to shift depending on how I perceived her. Okay, well then this was the story of a man and an eldritch monster. But in glimpses of yourself you get in the game, you see something eerie. White piercing eyes, talons, rows of black plumage. You are a
Yes, that is you.
monster.
Oh. Oh.
Too. And past that, the cycle continues to spin, and after a whole series of progressing loops, the princess is taken by endless hands and you are brought to the long quiet, a place outside of places. The princess you have fought or loved is in fact just one piece of a greater entity known as the Shifting Mound. She is the representation of death and transformation.
Not quite just that. Let's
And
say
she loves you. Soon you come to understand that you are a piece of the long quiet, the representation of life in stasis. The princess's count.
okay, that's not quite right. You're not. It's not two gods, ones that like change and stuff like death. No, that's not quite right. You are those things, but those are just small parts. The shifting mound and the long quiet. Those two are basically gods. Those are two halves that used to be one whole. And that one whole was just straight up capital letter God. Like create like everything kind of God. Like they don't have a sphere, I'm pretty sure, because everything is their sphere. So you split, but then they got split into two. And those halves, they're not the same, but they do share parts. Ever changing. Both of them, like biggest thing is that everything changes based on perception, which is amazing. Like yes, like when you die, the next route changes because of how you perceive the princess. But you also, your change is more subtle. It's more of a mental thing. Like you get more voices in your head based on how the princess sees you, and it's quite telling that the one voice that is always with you is the voice of the hero. Conscious, they see more or less your consciousness, conscience, Jiminy Cricket style, basically, except more like just a good guy, apparently good. Even without even meeting you, your other half thinks of you as good. No matter what, small part of her will always see you as the hero. That says so goddamn much. And the reason why she's a princess and not some horrible monster, you can only ever see her, and that's something that you will always see her. Princess, someone to be protected, someone to be loved, be cared for. No matter if she's a demon, a monster, or some sort of eldritch in between, some small part of the long quiet will always see her as his princess. That's goddamn beautiful. Even in a construct built to make these two built so that she would die, so that death would die. Even then, it can't be made into something that it can't be made into something that she's not perceived as, and she will always be perceived as a princess, as someone beautiful and in need of saving.
Counterpart. And together you were once whole, the cosmic phenomenon that encompassed life and death. The narrator, in an effort to kill all death, removed this god from the rest of reality, separating it into two pieces, and employing you to kill your other half. You must bring the shifting mound different perspectives, different versions of herself to make her whole. Then, in the end, decide if you will slay the princess. Do you end all death, or join hands with her and ascend to the godly plane together? Or do you choose to do something else entirely? Something more human? In the end, we can fight or love.
I think it's gonna be obvious which ending I choose. I would ever choose anything else. If you ask me, to be human is to be divine. Not in some like religious sense. It's just why would I want to be anything but me? Maybe I'd like to be a bit more, but I'm already something that's pretty damn amazing. So are you watching this. You right now, you watching this, you are something amazing. Doesn't matter who you are, but it doesn't matter what you are. Doesn't matter if I ever see you or you ever see me. I know for a fact your existence is fucking amazing. Just because it's it's a unique. It's a story that I will most likely never know. And that just, people are fascinated. That kind of just,
as
I
cosmic
can't even put into words.
entities or choose to commit to a smaller vessel. Escape the shifting mound's reach and head to the cabin where we first met her. Choose to find the princess, one of the most human versions of her, and talk to her.
That's
Out
not.
there you are Eldritch horrors, but in here you speak person to person, and you can choose to kill her, or let her kill you, or you can take her hand. You can choose to leave this bottle reality. Inside it, you are abstract and strange, but maybe if you leave together into the unknown, abandon the vastness of godhood, you could find your way out to the real world.
I need to
Putting
play
you
this
through
game on
spiral
stream.
of loops, alternating between human and monster and goddess and human, the whole universe of this cosmic love can kind of be seen as a metaphor for human love. The dozen ways that you and the princess fight or make up in gruesome ways represents the ways two lovers would break up and make up in the real world, albeit to a very exaggerated degree. To court someone, whether human or cosmic, is to gain their trust, depending on your perception of them and the ways you choose to greet them with
Love that
civility
game
or a knife
much.
changes the ways your relationship will grow or
Such a
decay.
beautiful.
Creating a story on the Eldritch level allows us to explore a hyper-surreal version of human relationships. But that doesn't completely explain why humans want to portray these Eldritch beings as cute anime girls, does it?
Mostly just because anime girls are cute. That's about it. That's almost entirely it. It's about literally just, I like this thing.
If you take a brief glance at the world of dating sims, Eldritch horrors are weirdly not even the strangest thing on the market. There are games about dating monsters, dinosaurs, Colonel Sanders.
Yeah,
If you can imagine it,
no, the thing that really gets me is the Colonel Sanders one is actually like licensed by KFC, and the what the fuck.
there's a good chance humanity has written a story or created a game about trying to date it. I mean,
Round spotted. I love that. That's fantastic. Moving on.
trying to date it. I mean, there's literally a game called Date Everything, where you can date your furniture, belongings, or the primal
Hang on,
elements
is that a
of the
wait? If
universe.
that's the belongings. Hang on. Okay. I've never seen anything from this game, so I just want to go through a guess. I'm guessing, are like the bath water, something. Looking at that. Comic book, maybe? Laundry basket? No, that one's laundry basket. Look at it. That could be the coat rack. Is that a bunny slipper come to life? Are those Pop Tarts? You're a fucking toaster, aren't you? Yes, there's toast. Oh, that's good. That is good design. I am trying to avoid the BDSM chicken in the room. Like, seriously, what the fuck? Why is there a BDSM rubber chicken? Like, the rubber chicken thing, that's fucking hilarious, and that's actually why I turned back. I was like, oh my god, that's funny. But, what? I don't... Oh my god, is it a fucking rubber chicken ball gag? The hell? Bookshelf, maybe? That cat is a wall clock, I know that. You... Tiling? Garbage can? Yeah, he's dressed in trash bags and has a banana peel on his head. You look way too normal. So do oh, your cabinets. You're like, yeah, your cabinets. I can see the yeah handles and all that. You though, I was gonna say maybe it's a leather jacket, but look at all the. Are you a stapler? Hmm. This guy, I have no clue.
Your
Okay, moving
belongings
on.
or the primal elements
Ah, bathwater called it.
of the universe. And throughout fiction, there are tales of gods, angels, and monsters alike
Hey, what's that say? Eros and Psyche. Oh yeah.
falling in love with humans. I think that part of this phenomenon's prevalence is because of its sheer comedy.
You think cosmic entities are attractive? As a human?
Yes. But that not because they're cosmic entities, so that I guess that does add to it. Makes them more interesting. Personally, I'm just attracted to people. People are people, and people are interesting. Some people, I'm not attracted to everyone, but yeah, some people are really cool and interesting, and I'd like to know them more about them, even if that's not in a romantic sense. To me, all relationships are massively important, just as important as each other. I sometimes suck at maintaining those relationships, but I'm trying to be better.
The idea of something so wildly inhuman taking on a cute human form is an absurd juxtaposition. And another part is genuine human lust. In Sucker for Love,
Eh.
Chapter 3, the dark cat goddess Nyan Lathotep tries to stop Dee from dating
Okay, see, this is another example of the. It's like if this game having like really good designs, but not fully. Like, I'd say if it was more clear that this was like wrappings, then that'd be really good. Because then it's a mummified cat girl, which is really cool, with a faceless thing with just an eye. That's
any more
really,
Eldritch
really cool.
beings, especially not her two nieces. After a grueling series of dark cursings,
Wait, hang on. Is
goddess Nyan Lathotep tries to stop Dee from dating any more Eldritch beings, especially not her two nieces.
oh, that's really funny.
After a grueling series
Fine,
of
I'll give
dark
this game a
curses
shot.
and monsters hunting after Dee, Nyan Lathotep is thwarted. Dee will simply not fall to madness. Nyan, as she likes to be called, says that she is the embodiment of the fear of unknown, and that all humanity is terrified of the darkness between stars.
Not really.
He should be cowering. Yet he doesn't. And it's not because
That's not true. Humans don't fear the unknown. Never have. I think we do. You haven't. That's actually pretty true. We're not afraid of the unknown. We want to know more about it. That's the difference. We want to learn until there is nothing unknown. Honestly, that idea would probably be freaky as hell for like someone for like an eldritch god who thinks that people fear it, the unknown. Imagine like, oh, like you know for a fact, oh, humans are afraid of the unknown, and then you learn, oh, fuck, they don't. They're not afraid of the unknown. They want to know more about it. And to be fair, isn't that what all relationships are based off of? finding someone you don't know and wanting to know more about them.
Because of love, he's just got so much lust that even Eldritch fear couldn't stop him.
Really? Poor dog.
And this is enough to terrify
What did I just say? Like about how freaky that like the realization would be to an Eldritch being.
Nyan out of that reality. So obviously, the eldritch nature of these kinds of characters allow for humanity to dive into both comedic ideas and more suggestive ideas. But beyond those two reasons, the fact that humanity tells stories of cosmic
Yeah, this right here. Someone's deeply into that. You know who you are. Hang on, I should be looking at the camera when I say that. Ah, well. But yeah, someone's deeply into.
hope and somehow falling in love
Cosmic hope in cosmic hope and comfort are my favorites so much.
with eldritch beings goes to show our undeniable empathy. We want to believe that even in the face of a being of unknowable power, we could find kindness to share with them, and they could learn to be human like us. Perhaps it's naive, going against the foundations of Lovecraftian horror. But
You know, okay, that's what when I say that I'm naive, that's the kind of naivety that I mean. Not look if you look at the ceiling, where's the word gullible there? No, it's like I believe things are gonna turn out all right. Or at least I very much try to, because what's the point in just lamenting over things when you don't need to? What's the point? You're grieving over something that doesn't. It's not. You're grieving over something that's overall all in your head. What's the point? Learn how things are before you make a judgment. That's not always possible. Like even I do that a lot. I tried not to judge books by their cover, but as shown earlier in this very video, I judged the heck out of Sucker for Love, thinking it was just thinking of something else, and then something. Oh, just like it made me fucking cry. I haven't even played it yet, and it made me cry over just the idea that the Eldritch God the Eldritch God that's dreaming you will miss you. That she doesn't want to wake up because of you. That says the fact that I've actually had those kind of dreams before. Like that's you feel loved in a dream. Don't want to wake up from it. Sure, you're loved in real life, but not everyone is, and it's not the same kind of love. It's a very fragile thing. Not always romantic based either, but to give an example, like I have to often have like recurring dreams where I basically getting a cat, adopting a cat, not a cat girl or anything, it's just an actual cat because I love cats. I used to have one, and then I lost her. Or my sister lost her, but semantics. But yeah, I miss her, and I have dreams about getting a new cat. Something that is kind of love, and it hurts when I wake up. It hurts a lot. Like it really hurts when I wake up and suddenly, oh, oh, it's gone, and that hurts. It really does. Thing is that kind of feeling is valid. What you were feeling in that dream, it was valid. You might not remember all the details. You might remember all the context. Whatever you felt in that dream, you felt it for a reason. Love, hate. You might not want to wake up, but eventually you have to. But I think that even though I am always sad when I wake up from those dreams and I'm crying, I'm still happy that I had them. I'm happy that just for a bit I was happier than I was normally. Just for a bit I got to love a cat again. Just for a bit I got to like just hold a little purring bundle of fur. And that made me happy. Dreams are valid too. Both literal and non-literal. So yeah, it's fine to not want to wake up. Like whenever I've gotten to the point where at those cat dreams, I almost always immediately realize, oh fuck, I'm dreaming. And I know that I'm gonna get heartbroken when I wake up. But I still go in anyway. I ignore the fact that I realize that it's a dream, and I just continue it. I'm gonna wake up. I always wake up. But means a lot and to have those dreams.
In imagining these tales where we pierce the veil, where in the face of fear and tentacles we could still find common ground, we come to a better understanding of our own ability to love and care for others. In the game Monster Prom, you could date a variety of classic monsters, and you can date an unknowable Eldritch deity.
Best girl.
And if you make it to the ending where you go to prom with them, you wear a cute suit or dress, they decide to become an adorable Eldritch girl instead. She
Yes.
becomes Zoe.
Zoe is the best character.
Similar to the story of Eldritch Darling, love is a powerful force that helps even squirming tentacle beings to ground themselves and find a form that they feel comfortable in.
Exactly
a form
that.
they can truly experience love more fully through. Tales of Eldritch romance aren't just love letters to the voids between stars, but love letters to ourselves, to humanity, that celebrate our own foolhardy will to empathize, an instinct to embrace genuine connections despite our differences, to choose love over fear. And I find it so incredibly human to gaze into the abyss and imagine that it is gazing back with nothing but love. So, which of these Eldritch entities would you most want to meet and have swooning over you?
that's a question to leave off on. I'm gonna answer because yeah, I tend to do that. Okay, getting the nose out the way. This one here. Hang on. This one here. That's not an option. That's just fucking toxic. I don't think this one can conceive of love in that same way. It would probably try, but it'd feel a bit. Oddly, I think it would feel weird. Like not in a. Like, it would feel weird. Like you'd have too much. As weird as it sounds, the power balance would feel way too off, and not in and weird enough in the human favor. I feel like this is a very easily influenced being. It didn't even know it could think until someone told it that it could think. Like that's how easily influenced it is, and I do not think that would be that the power balance of that relationship is not a good one. You basically would literally end up accidentally molding them into what you want, and that's just sad. That one's taken. That one's just fully taken. Yep, nope, no one else could take that. Yeah. That I'm not sure. That one's not. I don't know. I don't know enough about this one to say anything. Again, I need to play. I'm gonna play that game first. Fuck Bill Cipher, and not in a fun way. Just no. Until he goes to therapy. She's great. But again, also another an example of single target sexuality, though. It's like, no, the shifting mound loves the long quiet, and the long quiet loves the shifting mound. That is an immutable fact of the universe, basically. Like, nope, same reason as those, both taken and fully. Zoe, honestly, Zoe's would be a vibe. Weirdly enough, the most normal one, despite the fact that she's a little freak. Yeah.
would you most want to meet and have swooning over you? Let me
So,
know.
chances are Zoe would actually would be spooning over me, and pretty much anyone else. That's Zoe is just like, if you can match her energy in any way, yeah. It's like, the reason I know for a fact that we would get along is because I would want. She's a shipper, and I'm the kind of person who would actually talk about ship dynamics and stuff. I don't ship, but I will talk about other ships. I don't have a stake in this horse, but I love talk. But the horses are cool.
Down below.
Stake in this
And
horse. I think I butchered those
if you
sayings.
enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe for more. And if you want another dive into Eldritch horror, watch this video next on the weird world of Eldritch horror in cartoons.
You know what? Yeah, no. This was a very, very good video. Thank you, Scrawls. I'm gonna put a link to this video in when I put this on YouTube. I'm gonna put it in the description. This has been like 2 hours just watching this one video. This 25 minutes. I'm almost certainly not gonna edit it at all. I loved it though. This is fantastic. I had a great fun. I don't know if judging by just how long it took me to react to this one video, though, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue streaming, because... Oof. Let's take a look at Scrolls, see if there's anything else. Ooh, villains. An evil win and has just Dr. Doof. I love that. I love that that's the stock photo of Dr. Doofenshmirtz too. Hang on, you can't see this, can you? There we go. Do you want to live sympathy? That'd be something interesting to listen much. Sympathy for the immortal. I do have a lot of thoughts on immortality. Honestly, yep, that's probably what I'm gonna end up watching next. Or I had like 5 videos lined up for this. Didn't end up watching a single one. Going to be watching this though next. Not today though, because it's been ages. I would have actually started stream earlier, but I spent like 2 hours just stuck in decision paralysis. Ugh. But I'm gonna load this up
Elves.
and bookmark it. And we're gonna watch that later. For now, we're gonna head out. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I know for a fact that I did. I had a lot of fun today. I need to bring out the notepad more often because I just think this is funny. Just see, like, look at this. Does this make sense to you right now? If you watched the video, probably. If you haven't, this looks like the fucking ramblings of a madman. Like up here is like, I'm actually gonna try and go over this real quick before we end because I think it's funny to try and recap using this. Perception is reality, and the cat might not be inside the box, but it doesn't matter what it is. If you think it is, then it is for you. Until you open the box. Math ain't mathin', and that is the phrase "math ain't mathin'" is more or less Eldritch knowledge. And if you added a whole new number, yes, it might change everything, but you don't need to add the number. Just don't think about it. It's fine. ADHD is like a rabbit in a hat that just appeared because you were doodling. Look, an artist's work lives separately from the one who created it, for better or worse, and in many different ways. Like the guy who came up with the whole like alpha, beta, omega system for wolf packs. He wanted to take his words back almost immediately, but it got published and he wasn't able to take it back. And because of that, everyone has the wrong information now. Also, if you want to blame anyone for that for that kind of fanfic trope, blame that guy. I don't remember his name, but blame him. He accepts the blame with great shame. And also, in some similar way to that, like Cthulhu's, like H.P. Lovecraft's works are not what cosmic horror is now. It basically spreads out. Once you created something, it gets spread out. Like the depiction of Cthulhu as a giant octopus monster with like bat wings. That's not Lovecraft. I'm pretty certain. That came later. Hastur has nothing to do with Lovecraft, except for maybe being an inspiration to the King in Yellow. And Hitler's art was not bad because it was made by Hitler. It's bad because it was bad art, irrespective of who drew it. Like if literal Jesus Christ showed you a stick drawing, it would still be a stick drawing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who made the art. That has no merit on how good or bad a piece of artwork is. There are exceptions, if there always are, but that usually goes without saying. But people tend to have bad attention spans sometimes, so yeah, you have to say it. Okay. And to sum up my entire thoughts on this whole thing, on the topic of the video, can Eldritch horrors fall in love? I'd say yes. It might not be the same kind of love that you feel for something, but they absolutely can. Just in the same way that an ant farm can grow to love the person. Here's the thing, even an ant farm. You know how they always use ants as a metaphor for like humans and that kind of thing, because the relationship between ants and humans are very similar to how a lot of like Eldritch stuff is. Here's the thing. Ants can grow to care about humans, and just like humans could grow to care about an Eldritch entity. You bring them food, eventually they will begin to recognize you to some degree. It's not easy to understand you, but they will. And what's more, you prove you have some form of love for those ants because you're actively feeding them. You're actively taking care of them. You love those ants. It might not be in a romantic way, but you do love them. And yeah. It's cartoony as hell to say, but love is the most powerful thing in their universe. Simply because it's much more complex than anyone gives it any credit for. In fact, whenever people they always say, "Oh no, love is complex and it's strong and stuff." They never give that meaning though. They never say why it is like that. Why is this love powerful? Why is it so strong? Like, yes, love is chemicals in your brain, but that does not. A house is a bunch of bricks too, but that doesn't mean it's not a home. It's more than what the sum of its parts. Like, if I gave you all the parts to build a car, that's not a car. It's a bunch of car parts. But if you put those stuff together in the right way, you got a custom car. And that's not a bunch of parts, is it? Your love is more than just a chemical. And just because... Yeah, okay, I'm going to end this because I keep getting sidetracked. Okay, bottom line, love is good. Also, Zoe is the best character. Goodbye.